Hi Mr. Newton and people in Mr. Newton's class. Last blog post for the quarter and first video log for me. Hopefully this works out. I'm going to try and do everything in one continuous video so I don't have to cut it up and do a whole bunch of stuff. So here it goes. This quarter I've been reading the book Something Borrowed. You can see, you can't see the title. My room's way too bright. But it's really pretty, just some words and then there's a ring in the middle. It's by Emily Giffin, and I'd like to thank Raven one more time for suggesting this book to me. It is pretty much my favorite book right now. And to recap, because I'm pretty sure not a lot of people have been reading my blogs, which is okay. So to summarize my book, it's about these two girls, best friends. Our main character, Rachel, she's kind of the goody two-shoes, more down-to-earth, just go with the flow kind of girl. She doesn't, nothing too special, just like the average girl next door. And then her best friend, Darcy, who's the girl that everyone wants to be, and she gets everything she wants, and Rachel is just there in the background okay, Darcy, you're my best friend, and you're perfect, I'm not, but I'm happy with it. I'm a lawyer in New York, and it's okay. So our story starts when Rachel turns 30, and after her birthday, she does the unthinkable in a best friend relationship and sleeps with Darcy's fiance, which is horrible, and she realizes it. She knows it's horrible. So the first thing she does is freak out, but towards the middle of the book, her and Dex realize that they do love each other, and they have genuine feelings for each other. It's not because, yeah. And that's my book. Some of you might know that I actually got up to the second to last chapter 2 weeks ago, but I refused to read the last chapter because it meant the end of this book, and I seriously loved this book so much. I couldn't read the last chapter, and yesterday I finally did. So I will be doing prompt number 1 on Mr. Newton's lovely prompt sheet here. Thought I'd show it off. So yeah, prompt number 1. When we come to the end of a book, a consistent mood should be created, and our consciousness of certain aspects of life should have been intensified or even altered. I think that really fits with the ending of my book, because the second to last chapter is basically the chapter where everything falls apart, everything comes together, everything happens in that one chapter. So for those 2 weeks, I was killing myself. I'm what's gonna happen in the last chapter? So yeah, the last chapter was actually very calm and not as exciting as the chapter before, because in the chapter before they're not friends anymore, and all of a sudden it's just Rachel and Dex, and Darcy's just off in her little world, which apparently is the plot of the second book, which I'm excited for. So yeah, in this last chapter, I thought I'd be really disappointed with it because I expected all the intense stuff where everybody knows and everything's out there and the truth, it's out there. I thought that would be the last chapter, but it wasn't. And I was surprisingly okay with that. I thought I would be disappointed, because in the last chapter, it's mostly Rachel thinking about her feelings and how she kind of doesn't know what to feel, because throughout the whole book, she was either feeling I love Dex, I'm in love with him, or oh my gosh, what happens when Darcy finds out? Now all she has to think about is her relationship with Dex, and even her relationship with herself, because I got the feeling, I wrote about this in some of my other blogs, that she didn't have a lot of self-esteem, and she was always doubting herself, and I think her relationship with Dex really kind of brought that out in her, and she eventually found the self-confidence that she needed, which I really liked, and it really changed her character for the better, I think. But again, in this last chapter, it made me want to cry a little bit. I don't know, I think it really did change the book. I think a lot of my realizations of the story happened at the end, when she's just thinking through all the thoughts. Like, she kind of takes this time to realize all the things she's been through and how she really deserves this time with Dax, but at the same time she can't forget that she just lost her best friend. Even if they weren't true friends, like, there was no way for her to deny it. Darcy was a big part of her, and now she's gone. And I think even the same thing applies to Dex, which is something that, like, one of the major things Rachel and Dex have in common is their relationship with Darcy. And now it's gone, it's just them, which not only changes the overall, like, mood of the book, but also changes, like, their relationship. So I guess that certainly intensifies that aspect of Rachel's life, and overall I was really pleased with the ending conclusion of this book. Looking forward to reading the sequel, and thanks again to Mr. Newton for allowing video logs. This was really cool. Hope you enjoy it. Leave lots of comments, and definitely check out this book, especially if you're a girl. Enjoy your weekend.